how this pertains to the football field is the Browns still have two quarterbacks on their roster that have starting experience. And we'll start with Baker Mayfield because he's still on the roster. Now, he's been excused from OTAs, understandably so, but he's due $18.8 million this upcoming season. Ike, where do you think he winds up in the 2022 season? Because I don't think there's any chance he remains on the Cleveland Browns roster. I have two theories, but I want to hear from you first.
Well, they're saying the Carolina Panthers are really, making a huge surge for Baker Mayfield, and we shall see. So I know the owner over there, Mr. Teppet, he if he likes something and he's willing to pay for it, he's definitely going to do it. He is the richest owner in the NFL. So we shall see. But I think my personal opinion, the fit right now, or maybe the only fit, would be the Carolina Panthers for Baker Mayfield.
Yes, Sam Darnold, PJ Walker, the quarterbacks there. I think that's the most likely destination. I also think maybe the Seahawks, Drew Lock, Geno Smith there. But if either of those teams really wanted Mayfield, I think he would already be on their rosters. I really think the big thing is how much of the money are the Browns willing to eat in a deal. I also mentioned the Lions with Mayfield earlier this offseason, given the connection with John Dorsey, the Browns' former GM, now in the front office in Detroit. But I think the Panthers are most likely. I have kind of a crazy theory, though, Ike, because we hear all the rumors about Jimmy G in San Francisco and Trey Lance waiting in the wings there. What if the Browns and the 49ers made a deal? And here's why this would make sense. Baker Mayfield needs a new change of scenery. He could learn under Kyle Shanahan, learn under Trey Lance, and become what Mitch Trubisky was this offseason, next offseason. And then Jimmy G gives the Browns a more formidable starter as we see what ends up happening with Deshaun Watson and a guy who is a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. What do you think of my proposal there?
You're ahead of the game. I think you kind of hit it on the head. I'm not going to discredit that scenario. Honestly, I never thought about that. That would be a great fit for Baker Mayfield. And I'm just looking at Coach Shanahan and his personality. He likes guys who are very confident. He likes physical guys. He likes kind of rebel type of guys. And we all know that Baker Mayfield is a rebel. If you just look at the way they set up their roster, they want bar fight kind of guys on their roster. They want freelancing, feel-free personality kind of guys on their roster. So Baker Mayfield, from a quarterback standpoint, that's exactly who he is. He's an old school Jim McMahon kind of guy. And that's exactly what Shanahan is looking for. And then again, it's just on the San Francisco 49ers whether they want to feel like or admit they made a mistake and trade. That's all it is. If they can get over the hump, if they can LA Rams this thing, and LA was like, you know what? We made a mistake on Jared Goff. Yeah, we did go to the Super Bowl, but we like this kid over here, Matthew Stafford, in Detroit. We think that he could really bring us to the Super Bowl and win one. If the San Francisco 49ers can have that kind of personality with Baker Mayfield, because you can argue Baker Mayfield is better than Jimmy Garoppolo in that situation, in that scenario with that roster. So, yeah, time will tell. But I think, Mark, other than the Carolina Panthers, that's a heck of a scenario going to the San Francisco 49ers.
And let me lay this out as well. Mayfield's due 18.8. Jimmy G's cap hit is 26 and some change, almost $27 million. So another player would probably need to be involved if a deal like that were to go down to line up the salaries. But I think that it would be a possibility. Now, the Browns probably don't want to allocate all of that money towards the quarterback position, given what they're paying Watson, what you signed Jacoby Brissett for, and Jimmy G do almost $27 million. But again, just given the uncertainty with Watson, it would be a short-term fix because you just have so much uncertainty of you're not sure if or when he's going to be allowed to play Watson in 2022. So that's kind of why I thought about this. And this would be a potential trade where both teams stand to benefit. I know always sometimes it's, oh, well, who won the trade? I honestly think both teams would benefit from both quarterbacks getting a change of scenery.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to trade right now. They're just looking at that. They're looking at that $18 million. So Cleveland is holding on, hoping somebody will trade. NFL teams like, bro, just release him. we don't want to pay this 18. Yeah. That's all it is. It's a tug of war between the Cleveland Browns wishing somebody would take up or trade for Baker Mayfield in the NFL. Like, bro, this is something we're not going to do, Cleveland.
Yeah, and I almost throw out last season, Ike, because we talked about this. He was playing hurt, and the organization didn't protect him, whether it was Jimmy Haslam, whether it was the GM Andrew Berry, head coach Kevin Stefanski, because, like, you couldn't tell me just looking at him on the field that Case Keenum wouldn't have been a better option because Mayfield had a significant injury to his left shoulder. But, look, I understand why teams don't want to pay him that money because – he was going to seek an extension out like what Lamar Jackson is trying to get, what Josh Allen got, this massive contract extension. And I don't blame a quarterback for wanting to make his due, but Mayfield would have been better served sitting out last season with that shoulder injury instead of trying to play through. And now the Browns find themselves in the scenario that they do. And it is, hey, it's a benefit to our Pittsburgh Steelers. I will say that. I want to say this too, in mentioning the other quarterbacks in that class, because Lamar Jackson's in a contract season too, final year of his rookie deal. The moment that these teams sign their quarterback to a massive contract, they then limit their ability to allocate that money towards making other significant upgrades on their roster. And so for that reason, the moment that the Baltimore Ravens signed Lamar Jackson to a massive contract extension, we should be doing cartwheels in Pittsburgh. And this might sound counterintuitive because, look, I'm not saying the Ravens should let the former league MVP walk, but he hasn't had the playoff success in 4 playoff games now, 1-3 record. Look at the touchdown to interception ratio. So he's shown, at least in the sample size that we've seen, that he hasn't been able to get it done in the playoffs. And if you're paying him $40+ million per season on average, you don't have that money to make other upgrades along your roster. The moment that happens, Ike, and I'll probably take some crap for this from Ravens fans, we should be doing cartwheels in Pittsburgh. It's my 2 cents worth. That's my take.
Well, I think if agents, teams, especially with this quarterback situation, they should start doing deals how Dallas did Dak Prescott deal. If you think about it, so from an agent standpoint, you want to be able to recruit and be like, I've had the biggest quarterback deal, or my guy is averaging 40 a year. But I like the way Dallas did Dak Prescott deal is we gonna give you $75 million this year in 12 months. And then for the rest of your contract, your salary ain't going to be as big, but while everybody is looking at they're averaging 40 a year, you damn near got 80 in 1 year. If they would do it like that. So it will have to be the player who can agree with that. It will have to be the team when it comes down just for the quarterbacks. When it comes down to the quarterback, and it will have to be whomever agent to look at exactly how Dallas did Dak Prescott's contract. Now they have room to work with because now Dak Prescott's salary isn't a big salary. So they're able to move and ask guys for pay cuts or transfer money and get contracts more upfront for guys now. That's how I look at it. That's why I think when it comes down to the quarterback situation, that's the best way to go. So while you waiting 2 years to get your 80, Dak got it in 1 year. It's just his salary won't be as big as everybody else's. But that's exactly what you want. Give me as much money as you can give me up front. And that's exactly what Dallas did. And I think only for the quarterback situation. And it helps the team out in later years. Only for the quarterback situation, they should go that route. Exactly how Dallas did Dak contract.
Ike, this is why you're my dog. And I love how you knew this just off the top of the dome. So in that first year of his contract, it was front loaded, made $75 million. But in year 2, this upcoming season, that number is $20 million. So you're spot on there. And again, take a book out of Ike and take a book out of Dak Prescott and what you just told us.
Yeah, that's if for the quarterback, that's exactly what I would do. So he damn near making $115, $120 million in 2 years. His salary won't say that, but heck, his bank account saying, "Ooh, we."